Good morning. It is Saturday, October 15th. Oh my God. This is my last day in Worcester, Massachusetts. And I am so glad. I think my camera's slipping. Hold on. Let me tell you what. I am so happy to get out of here. I don't even know where to begin. First of all, this center has worked me so hard and treated me so bad. But let me start by saying they are overworked. And they just have they don't have enough staff members. Everybody in there got an attitude. Like, not an attitude. Okay, let me change that. Everybody in there is just stressed and not really an attitude. Just, I guess it would be more like aggravated or frustrated, maybe more. Those people are overworked. I would never work like that in my damn life. I have to start doing something else. I would literally quit and have to do something else. There's no way you can work in that type of environment. It's way too toxic. You hate going to work. No, I don't think they hate the job. I think they just pray that it's not busy. They're so busy, and management has not hired new people. I think they just did now, but they waited too long. I think the people really like working there, but it was just way too busy. There's absolutely no way I could work in those conditions. You can't think. People making mistakes. I was making mistakes. People don't want to take the time to help you to answer a question. People giving you wrong information. I'm in there as a trainee, and again, it's just like they don't have the time to show you or explain. And that's what I signed up for. I signed up for someone to be able to explain that everybody, again, they go so fast. Like, I think this is going to be an issue. I don't know how to resolve it, but I'm not going to be able to deal with that again. There's absolutely no way. And what is the problem with people having, it's women having attitudes with me? Again, like, I know these women cannot be jealous. For why? First of all, I come in there being super nice, being very accommodating, but for some reason, it's just like they be hating on me and want to treat me mean. Like, what is the problem? I don't get it. I don't get it. I have joy when I come in there, and it's just like they can't. It cannot be that they're jealous of me physically. Maybe they see that I'm happy, I have joy, I have God in my life, and I have a good spirit, and maybe they're just like upset about it. I don't know, because it's just no way. It's not gonna walk around here looking like a damn beauty queen. And I'm older most of them. I'm sure I'm older than most of the people in there, if not close to the same age. So I'm just like, what is the problem? Why can't we are supposed to be women, even though we may not be the same race, because they're not the same race as me. Why can't we support each other? Why can't we support each other? We are women. And I was talking to someone who was like, we need more women in management because they don't have a lot. Okay, well, I'm a woman in management and I'm trying to possibly make changes for us. What is your problem? Let me tell you what. Yesterday was my last day, and I had went in there and I was ready to do whatever I had to do because I didn't care. And so when I get in there, they're like, all the managers are staying in the office today because they're way behind. So I was like, great, because I'm a manager, which means I should be in the office too. I started doing all the stuff that I needed to do. I did my expenses. I did some training videos. I did my exit checklist. I did some reading of some SOPs. I did my emails. I updated my experience log. I asked one of the other AMs to help me with Power BI. We spent some time on that. Of course, I asked the girl who never wanted to help me to try to show me some payroll stuff. She's like, it's not in the show. I said, she got a problem with me from the beginning. And I'm like, can you just go in and just show me anything? Like, this is the opportunity I can take. This, y'all not going on the floor. She went in there again, not wanting to help me. I was just like, okay. She's like, it's not in the show. It's not payroll week. Okay, whatever. So I did everything. Then I thought I had a meeting at 3. They closed at 5. So I went in there at 11. So I was like, all right, I got a meeting at 3 to 3:30. I'll go to lunch from 3:30 to 4. And then I'll see what it looks like. Because at 5 o'clock they close, but you're still staying there for like a good hour or so. So my meeting was canceled. I stayed in there and waited for her for like 10 minutes. I was like, okay. So I went out. I was like, my meeting's canceled. So I maybe go to lunch from 3:10 to 3:40. So when I was in the car, I was talking like to God. And I was like, okay, God, I've been in the office all day with the other managers. And the main center manager, he came in a couple of times. I know he wanted to tell me to go on the floor. I know he wanted to. But he felt like if I tell her to go on the floor, the other managers is not on the floor. And I'm going to hear about this from my manager, I'm sure. So he did come in there. He was like, hi, you want to work with quality on something? I was like, sure. I worked with her for a little bit. That was before lunch. So when I came back, I was like, okay, it'll be pretty much 4 o'clock when I come back. I was like, I'm going to go help on the floor, but it's going to be on my terms. I'm just going to go out there and help with some easy stuff. You know what I'm saying? So I didn't have to put on all my protective equipment and stuff. So I came back and I was going to tell the manager I was going on the floor for a little bit to help out. But I didn't even want to say that because I just didn't. I didn't even want to tell him because if I tried to come back, if it got too hectic, he probably would be like, go back on the floor. You was already out there. You know what I'm saying? So I didn't want to tell them. I just went out there and started helping with things, right? So again, I didn't have my protective gear and I didn't have like the walkie that we need to do stuff. So my plan was just to come out there and do some basic stuff. If they wanted me to pick up trash, if they wanted me to clean some beds, I was on it. So I'm just doing the basic putting up sets. And sure enough, I'm not even out there. I would see what time I sent the email to my boss. I was out there just brazen. They needed a lot of sets. So I was like, great. Because when I came out, I was like, oh, they need a lot of sets. So I can be out here putting up sets for a while. And then when the people leave, I can go back up there and put up the next. So I was thinking I was going to be out there for a good hour just putting up sets. Because that's what that's one of the things that they needed. Boy. So I went to one section. I'm putting up sets, talking to customers, getting them ready. I went to another section. I was putting up sets. And then the section that I was in and I left was the section of this girl. I'm going to put a name out there named Sarah. And Sarah, again, she has an issue with me. I'm not sure why. So I guess she was coming from lunch because the person that was in that section left. And Sarah went into, and I had just put up some sets in that section because I thought the other girl was there. So I was like, okay, Sarah's in this section. I'm not going to come over here. I'm going to go to every other section because I don't want to hear anything she has to say. I had already said that. So I went all the way to the other side and I'm setting up sets. And I'll tell you something about this after the fact. So I'm setting up sets, just setting up sets. And then George, out the blue, which I've heard this before. He's like, when you get finished setting up that set, go to Aqua and Sarah's. And I looked up to see where Aqua was because they have different colors. And I was like, okay, why is he sending me to Sarah's section? Like, she had to have said something. Now, I'm going to stop for a second. Now, before, she was in another section, like green, and I was floating around. And I heard the conversation between her and George before. And George was like, George said, who's running the floor? And Brian had said, I am. And she said, well, Sarah wants to know who's floating. And he was like, what do you mean who's floating? She wants to know who's floating. A float is a person goes around and helps other sections. So basically, I was kind of floating. And he was like, we really don't have a float. And I was like, well, I'm floating, but I don't know why he said that. He was like, we really don't have a float. And I think she was looking for me to come over there to set up her sets, because that's what she wants to do. She wants to order people around. So that day, I never went over there. And that section's really far away. So another time when I came out there, and she came over to me, she said, I'm about to leave, so go into my section. And I was like, okay, like, no problem. But so when I went over there, there was a little issue, and she was telling me what to do, and I was like, let me go check with the person who's running the floor, because again, I don't want all these different people telling me what to do. Just who's running the floor, and that's who I will do what they tell me. And when I said that, the center manager, whose name is Tyson, I said, well, let me go check and see what they want me to do. And he gonna go look at me. He said, no, basically do what she said. And I looked at him as to say, why would you do that? First of all, I'm supposed to be a manager, and why would you have her tell me what to do after I just said, let me check on it? If you felt like I needed to do what she said, you could have told me that later on. But for you to stand there and to give her support after I said, let me go check on this, but that don't even matter. So let's go back. So again, I'll tell you about that in a second. So basically, that's what happened that day. I stared down and I did what she told me to do. And he left that day and he did not say nothing to me because he already knew. I was pissed. How you going to support her? And I know she's on your team, but how you going to support her and try to disrespect me like that? Okay, so anyway, back to what I was saying. So George was like, go to Aqua. And I looked up, so she was in Aqua. And I was like, I'm not going over there, to myself. So I finished doing what I was doing. And I said, what do you want me? And I went back over to George. I said, what do you want me to do? Go over to Aqua for? And he's like, just basically set up sets, just try to help. So I went over there, and she only had one set that needed to be set up. All the other places was already done. So I went over to that one set. I was like, okay, I'm just going to do this one set, and I'm going to leave. Because she didn't have any sets that needed to be set up. And her section was already filled. So I went over to the lady, and then I happened to know the lady. And we started talking, and I'm putting up the set. Not even me over there for a minute. She talked about, can you do that stick? I said, I'm just out here putting up sets. I'm just out here putting up sets. I said, I don't have any protective. You can't do anything without any protective gear. I said, I don't have my shield. I don't have the walkie. Oh, you can use my walkie. I said, I'm just out here trying to help out by putting up sets. That's all I'm doing. And the lady is looking at me like, what is the problem? I'm like, today's my last day. She's like, oh, you going to, so we're talking. And Sarah would not let it go. She's like, well, I need somebody out here to help me. And I'm ignoring her at this point. So basically, I'm helping a lady. Normally what I do is put the pressure cuff on, to do everything to help the person get ready. So I was going to put a cuff on like I do for everybody else. And she's like, Sarah going to say, you don't have to put the cuff on. I was like, okay. And again, the lady's looking like, what time's your flight? I was like, not soon enough. You don't have to put the cuff on. I said, oh, okay. And the lady's like, it's okay. It's not a big deal. I don't mind if she puts my cuff on. She's like, well, it's going to take me a long time to get over there because I have all these other things going on. Again, but that's not even necessary. What would have done if I didn't come over there? Again, they would have been in the same situation if I didn't come over there. Basically, she just would have had one less set up. So I felt like I helped her. I felt like I helped you. Because before I came, you would have had to set up another set. So now it's one less set that you have to do. But see, she don't look at it that way. She looks at it as, I have all this other stuff to do, and I want you to help me with what I say to do. She doesn't want to receive the little help that she gets. She doesn't see the small things. So, I'm putting everybody's name out there. So Kim, she is a nice girl. And I always help her. She always asks me for help. She's the only one. So she comes over. And I knew she was like, Heidi, can you help me? Basically, she needed help with something. And again, I didn't have my shield and I didn't have my walkie. So I really can't do much. So she was like, Kim, she was like, Heidi, can you help me with this? And sure enough, before I could even turn around and answer Kim's question, Sarah come yelling, no, she can't help you. She's not doing anything that has to do with needing a walkie. And I'm looking at her like, why are you answering for me? Why are you in our conversation? And she started yelling to George, I need someone to help me to cover this section. I'm having an emergency. I don't know what the emergency was, but so you know what I did? I just walked away. I walked out of the section and I just walked to the front. And I just looked up like this and I just said, I'm not dealing with this. And I took off my coat. And I went to the office. And I was like, you know what? I hadn't really been feeling that well all day anyway, which I hadn't. I had a horrible headache. I was nauseous. But I was like, I'm going to go in because I didn't want anybody to say anything on this last day. I did not want to call out because I felt like it would have made me look bad. Like, I couldn't tough it out. And my manager already know I'm having trouble. So I was like, I'm completing this task no matter what. But you know what? When I was in the car thinking about whether I was going to go on the floor or not, I had asked God, should I just stay in the office with everybody or should I? But I did want to go out there and try to give him some help. I did. And it was going fine. But I'm going to put it on the devil. It was going fine until Sarah could not let the fact go that I was out there on the floor just putting up sets. She couldn't let it go. So I went to the other manager, I'm not going to put his name out, the one that I get along with very well. And I was like, hey, I'm leaving. I don't feel well anyway. I'm sick. I packed up my stuff. It wasn't no negotiating about it. I have sick time out the fucking wazoo. Okay? It wasn't no negotiating. I packed up my stuff so fast. He was like, Heidi, will you just go tell the center manager? I said, yeah, where's he at? He said, he's in a meeting. I said, well, I could just chill right here with my head down until he come out that meeting. Because I wasn't going back on the floor and I was leaving sick. And he was like, no, just go knock on the door. I said, are you sure you want me to do that? He was like, yeah, just go knock on the door and just tell him you're leaving, you're sick. I was like, all right. So I went and knocked on the door. He didn't come. I started walking away. The door opened. When the door opened, I turned right back around and I went up to him and I didn't even look at him. I was like, hey, I'm sick. I'm leaving. I was like, you know that feedback that you have to give me? I said, you can just go ahead and email it to me. I was like, okay, bye. And I left. I think he was so perplexed on why I was leaving because I told you he knew I was in the office all day. So he was probably wondering like, what, she has to be sick or why is she, the day was going good for her. She didn't have to do anything. He has no idea what had just happened. So I went back. I gave the other manager a hug. I said goodbye to the quality person. I didn't say goodbye to the other manager who don't want to help me out. I didn't go back on the floor. I left out of there and went right to get me some Japanese food. Okay. I'm tired of them trying to treat me like that. Ordering me around. You know what I'm saying? And everybody's not disrespectful. But I'm saying, do you know what it's like to have 7 people calling your name, telling you what to do in an environment that's already unhealthy? Heidi, can you do, Josie, can you do this? Josie, can you do this? Josie, can you do this? Josie, come over here. Josie, go to that section. Josie, go over there. But can you hit that alarm? Can you do that stick for me? Can you do this for me? You know what I'm saying? All day long. And I don't mind people telling me to help them out. I mean, of course, the person running the floor is not going to be right there telling me what to do. But basically what I'm saying is when I come in, I should be able to go to the person running the floor and be like, what do you want me to do? Float. If he says float, I understand what float means. Float means go to each section and help out. Why do you need to tell me to do the disconnect or ring the alarm? You should assume that I'm going to do it, or if I don't do it, then you need to do it. This is your section. It's like when I come, they like, I don't have to do this anymore. No, you still need to run your section. If I don't hit that alarm, it's your responsibility to hit that alarm. You are here. It's 6 people in your section, and you have to monitor them. If I don't get an alarm, you need to get it. You would have had to get it if I wasn't here. That's your job, to monitor 6 people. Your job is to monitor 6 people. So like I said, I don't mind helping out, but it's not everything I'm supposed to be doing for everybody in the sections. You still have your job duties that you are supposed to withhold, whether I do it or not. God, I think I wasted way too much time telling you about that. Anyway, my flight's leaving at 3:30 today. I need to really I have not even packed up anything. I have this bacon here that I was supposed to eat. I'm about to eat. I don't know how this job is going to go. Honestly, I don't know. I know a lot of, like I told you, people in management talk about this part of it. And this is the first time I experienced this horrible time. I don't know. I don't feel like I'm ready to go into a center and do my own stuff. I'm not comfortable enough. But I don't know. It's one more placement, and then it's Christmas, and then it's a new year. I'm going to reevaluate in January. But I'm going to tell you what. I'm not going to be treated like I was treated at this center when I go to the next one. It's absolutely not. I would shut it down. I don't care. I'm not going to be talked to like that. I'm not going to be ordered around, and I'm going to try to be nice about it. But it's not happening. I will lose this job for the sake of respect and dignity. Yes, I will. I don't give a fuck. I'm not going to be talked to and treated. Like I said, it wasn't like that everybody was disrespectful. I don't want to put that out there. But I'm saying I'm not going to be ordered around like that. They never, the main manager of this center never, ever helped me be represented as a leader. And when they asked me about the feedback, I'm telling them that. That's where you failed. Your staff didn't have any respect for me as a leader. They thought I was an intern. And they thought I was supposed to do everything they told me to do. And that's not what I signed up for. That's not what we agreed to. I just want to do my own thing, honestly. You know what? I'm just praying to God. And maybe I'm in this situation because I still am sick with this COVID. Maybe God just like, I'm just going to put you in training for a year so you can just pretty much chill out, get well, and still just get your money. And then after this training, maybe God has something else for me. I am praying that he does. And I think maybe, like I said, I am sick. I'm still not at my best. Some days I can barely even function and I still go push through. But maybe this is just God's way of saying, hey, you still have to live. You still need an income. And this is a place, this is a time where you can just travel, fight this COVID. You know, you can learn some stuff, but you don't have a lot of responsibilities. And then once if I'm even healed, I don't know, or if I die, whatever the end all is the situation, when that time comes, I'm going to put you somewhere else. You know what I'm saying? So maybe this is just for now, because like I said, I feel okay, but I don't feel like I don't feel 100%. And when you're learning something new, maybe something that'll take you a week to learn. When you don't feel 100%, it may take you a little longer to grasp. And that's all I'm saying. And I'm grateful for this opportunity, but I'm just saying, if this is what God has for me, then I know it's going to get better. If this is not what God has planned for me, then I know it's going to get real good. Anyway, I need to take a shower. I told you my plane is leaving at 3:30. I gotta get to Boston, which is an hour away, but it's Saturday. I don't know what traffic's gonna be like. Like, I really need to leave. I should be leaving out of here at 11, but it's not gonna happen. If I leave at 12 and don't get to Boston until 2, I'm really gonna be pushing it. I really need to go, basically. So let me go ahead and get out of here. I'm about to post this now. Thanks for tuning in. Bye.